So we're just off from that adit. You can see the culvert back here. There's the dump, and you can see the old boys were pretty busy down in here. They maybe plastered some of this or dug some of it up, but there's definitely piles of stuff everywhere. Same way up here on these roads. And there's a float like this, a lot of it pretty bullish, laying everywhere. And more float over here. You see the odd piece of quartz. A black piece here, intermixed with the greenstone. The greenstone down here seems to be a little bit harder, but it's looks more like it's just stuff that's eroded off. It's been washed off pretty well. And there is, curiously, there is signs of old channel. Up in here, you occasionally get rounded rock. Here is a pretty heavily iron-stained cobble just laying here. We found some of these here and there. We even found a cairn of them up on top of the hill that we're pretty sure the old timers did not drag them up there off the road from somewhere else. So there is old channel here and mixed in some of this.
And I mean, there's actually more to the north. There's actually substantial piles of.
Yeah, there is substantial piles of boulders north of us. And they did do some placer mining here, certainly within a short distance. So there do seem to be definite signs of old channel in here, probably unexplored stuff. Here's more float.
Yeah, float's pretty representative of what's covers the entire.
Yeah, and this stuff is, like you just said, if you didn't hear them over the background there, this is pretty representative of what's kind of everywhere. You can actually see, I don't know if this is a piece of float or maybe another outcrop here, right above it.
Yeah, definitely looks like an outcrop.
Well, I'll go ahead and beat on it. Let's see if this is another outcrop or scattered float. So this is actually above this pile of float. This is actually another outcrop here. We're probably, I don't know if we're in line with these others or not. This vein looks like it's striking a little bit of a different direction. This may be more of a northeast versus north. Kind of bullish. My observation, personally, after being in Galice for a long time, really only paying attention to the lodes about the last 10-15 years, is usually these bigger veins like this are usually pretty bullish and pretty lean. Generally, they tend to be low grade, but there's usually some sort of parallel stringer, usually nearby, usually within a couple feet, that tends to be pretty rich generally, but they tend to be narrow. They might be, finger width type veins or knife edges near these bullish outcrops. I think we'll pass on collecting a sample off of this and just kind of leave it exposed. Hopefully find something a little more representative, because obviously every one of us has seen bull quartz. We're about 30 feet from that. More bulk float through here. Down here on the old road. And there's float. I don't know if you can see it all over through here. Some of it bullish, some of it black manganese stained. Kind of everywhere you look, there's float. This is kind of a typical look. So it's almost like there's, for me, it's almost like there's swarms of these quartz veins coming down the hill. More float. Pretty much everywhere you look. You know, if the old stories were true, which we assume they were, the old timers spent their time pretty much with buckets just picking the stuff up. And if that's what they did, which we have a pretty good indication that that is how they started out mining, there's certainly plenty of that to go around to do.